Hi, I'm Jenny, and welcome to Jenny Activates, where I help you build strength and mobility for an injury-free living. Today's workout is designed specifically for the golfers out there, focusing on isometric activations to improve your rotational stability, core control, and power for a stronger, more efficient swing. These isometric exercises will activate key muscles like your obliques, glutes, serratus anterior, and rotator cuff muscles, so you can generate more power safely without compensations that could lead to injury. Let's get started and unlock your rotational power.
This video is designed for general fitness and may not be suitable for everyone. Please consult a physician or healthcare provider before beginning any new program. Train smart, listen to your body, and let's move safely.
We're going to start with our obliques. So get a nice comfortable position, up nice and tall, bend these knees as much as you can, and let's get started. Twist to one side. As I'm twisting, I'm going to think about pushing this shoulder into extension, and I'm just holding this here for these 10 seconds. Then we're going to switch to the other side. Twist again as far as you can twist. Think about pushing this hand that way. And go. Good. Now we're going to go to the other side. So twist back to that first side. Think about pushing that hand all the way back and activate. Now we're pushing into this, trying to use this hand to give some resistance. So I'm trying to go backwards and I'm trying to hold this here. Kicking this side to make sure it lights up. Back to the other side. Make sure you take a breath in between, and then we're switching. Make sure we're trying to get as much rotation as we can, and then pushing against ourselves to activate those muscles. Now we're going to switch to our obliques still, but now there are lateral fibers. So I'm going to twist this way again, and I'm going to side bend back this way. So I'm thinking about crunching these ribs towards our hips, activating these muscles on the side, holding this here, and rest. You do the same thing on the other side. So twist as far as you can, and side bend. Holding this side bend here, trying to think about these muscles on your side, activating. Take nice deep breaths and relax. Back to the first side. So twist as far as you can, side bend. Hold this here. Thinking about trying to bring those ribs towards those hips on that side. Nice deep slow breaths and relax. One more time on our other side. So twist as far as you can and side bend. Keep working the side bend. These first two exercises are both internal obliques. So now we're going to work on our external obliques. So we're going to come all the way up. We're going to twist again, but now our force is out of rotation. So I'm twisting, and now I'm pushing this hand to try to get me out of rotation. This is working my external obliques. Good. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Twist as far as we can. Think about pushing this other hand back towards out of rotation. Make sure we're holding this the whole time, doing a nice isometric. If you need to, break a little early, take a little longer to get started. Build up to the 10 seconds. We're going to do the same one. Now we're going to go twisting, pushing back. If you need to, bend your knees more. You can keep them as straight as you can. Do whatever you need to do to make this the best workout for you. Last time over here, we're going to twist as far as we can and try to push out a rotation. Last time working on this external oblique. The next one's still an external oblique, but it's going to look a little different. So lay all the way down. You want, put your hands under your hips, lift up, and hip height to one side. So I'm thinking about bringing those hips towards that rib, but just on this side, I'm trying to keep my feet in the air. For some people, this might be too intense for your back. So I would say either just lift one leg in hip height, or what you can do is lift, hip height, and then sit down, but think about continuing that hip height. That's the action we really want to focus on. So now we're resting for a second, we're going to go back to that first side. So lift up, hip height, hold it out there if you can. If not, drop one leg down or drop both legs down and just try to focus on the hip height. Good. Last time on the other side, then we're going to switch to some glutes. And those are always a good one to get started, especially you think golf, you need a lot of ground reaction force. We want nice strong hips as we're going through rotation. So I'm going to lay on my side. We're going to start with the Glute Medius series. I'm going to turn my top hip in, going to lift up, and I'm going to hold this here. we're gonna do twice with my toe pointed down. Toe pointed down is actually just hip internal rotation, and these are just focusing on those anterior fibers. We're gonna do this one more time in this position. After we're done with this one, then we'll do a more neutral rotated hip position. Good. So now my foot's kind of flat. I'm gonna lift up about 30 degrees, hold this here for those 10 seconds. And I said it earlier, but if you would need to build up to the 10 seconds, take a couple extra seconds to get into the exercise, take an extra second or two to get out of it. Good. Last one, working on these middle fibers, holding it out here, thinking about really activating this muscle on the side, just trying to keep your foot as flat as you can. A lot of times people are more naturally internally externally rotated, so making sure we work all of them kind of help target different muscles that maybe aren't getting used as often as they should. So this last one, our toes are pointed out, holding it up here, and rest. We're going to do this one more time, and we're going to flip to our other side. Rotate out, lift up. Nice, easy. This one you should really feel closer to the back of your hip, more in that, where people technically think about their glutes. Good. So now we're flipping to that other side. Either flip over and rotate in and up. Now we're working that other side, trying to get as much internal rotation as you can without necessarily causing your hip to move too far forward or backwards. We want that foot in line with our rest of our body the entire time. Nice, easy. Thinking about maintaining that internal rotation. Really pay attention to where you're feeling that rest. Now we're doing that neutral position, so toes flat. Lift up, hold right there, nice and steady. Now I know a lot of times people think this looks like a simple exercise, but really holding this out here gets tiring. And the idea of a lot of these is not necessarily to tire you out, but really just to activate muscles that maybe aren't always activating. So you should definitely feel it a little different as we go internal, neutral, posterior. Last ones, now we're rotating our foot up, externally rotating at the hip, lifting up. After these next two, we're going to do, these are glute med exercises, we're going to do a glute max series. So after this last one, we're going to flip onto our stomach. Make sure we keep that external rotation, keeping that leg nice and steady and in line with the rest of our body. After this, we'll set it down and we'll work our glute maxes. So I'm laying on my stomach. I'm going to bend one knee, bring it in, lift straight up. So I'm keeping my knee close to my other one and just focusing on pushing straight up in the air. We'll hold this here and relax. We're going to do this twice. So while it's in close, push up. And we want to try to make sure we maintain that adducted position. That's where our knees are close together. And relax. Now we're going to bring it out wide. Abducting. And now we're going to lift straight up. Same thing, pushing straight up. If you feel like you're getting some pain in this other side of your hip, lower your leg down a little bit and just think about squeezing that glute. Still keeping this leg out here in this abducted position. Lift up. Hold out here. Should be feeling it mostly in this glute. Nice and steady. Just trying to fire those glute maxes. Good. Last one. We're going to rotate that hip internally, but it means our foot's coming out and lift up. If as you lift up, you lose that internal rotation, don't lift up as high. Make this about where you can get to end range. We're going to do this one more time. Check to make sure you're still internally rotated and lift up. Good. We're just going to hold this here nice and steady. Then we're going to switch to our other leg. So we'll show the last one on this leg and then we'll relax. Good. Bend this leg, bring it in towards the other one. And we're about to start the other side. Lift up. Good. So you should feel the same things that you feel on that other side. You might feel a little bit more tension on one side and just be aware of it. Take deep breaths as we go through this. Don't ever hold your breath. Alright, lift up. Hold this here, keeping that knee towards that other knee. This will work one of our glute max fibers. And relax. You're going to bring this leg out wide. Good. And now we're going to lift up. And same thing as before, you should be feeling this mostly in your glute max, that butt cheek. You're feeling it on your opposite low back. Lower that leg a little bit and try not to go as intensely. Also, relaxing your upper body will help. Good. Nice, steady here. Don't feel those glutes firing. Good. Now we're going to internally rotate, let that foot come out wide. And lift up. Hold that out there. Whew, this one's always a burner for me. We're going to hold this one nice, steady. We're going to go through it twice. Then we'll move on to our shoulders. Good.
3, 2, 1, go.
And last one on our glutes, then we'll flip onto our back. We'll start with our serratus anterior inferior fibers.
2,
So we'll just flip over.
rest.
And I'm going to think about bringing my hand all the way up. And I'm going to think about squeezing this shoulder blade up as I push my hand into the ground. Nice steady 10 seconds. Focusing on squeezing at the shoulder blade to cause that push into the ground. Don't think about just straight pushing into the ground.
3,
Reset, do what you need, come all the way back, and squeeze. If you don't have full range of motion and you can't get to the floor, you can always put something under your hand like a pillow or a ball, or just hold it where you can get to. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Hand all the way up,
go.
squeezing that shoulder blade back, trying to get that shoulder blade to touch your rib cage. Thinking about just squeezing and trying to get this hand pushing down.
Rest.
Reset, relax.
3, 2,
After this one,
go.
we're going to do another serratus anterior exercise, but now it's going to be the superior fibers of it. So it'll look a little different.
1, rest.
Good. Back to this first arm, I'm going to bring it out to 90. Going to lift it up about 45. And then I'm going to push this shoulder up. This is the action we're trying to hold for 10 seconds. Just thinking about pushing that shoulder straight off the ground.
Rest.
Relax all the way down.
3,
Take a second. Bring it up 45. Push that shoulder up. Holding this for 10 seconds. Thinking about trying to push as much as you want, as much as you can.
2, 1,
And rest. Same thing on the other side.
3,
Hand at shoulder height. Up about 45.
Go.
Push that shoulder straight up. Really thinking about pushing the entire time. I kind of have a tight chest, so it feels like a nice stretch across my chest.
rest.
And rest.
3,
You can do it one more time, up 45. Push that shoulder straight up. Hold through the whole time. Next, we're going to work into our rotator cuff muscles.
3,
So we'll start with our
1,
infraspinatus. I'm going to start with my elbow
3,
kind of at 30 degrees. And I'm going to think about bringing
Go.
this hand back as far as I can and pushing down. Same thing as before, if you can't get to the ground, just go as far as you can go and just push. If it's easier,
rest.
a lot of times people find it easier to push into something, called a towel.
go.
Now we're moving our elbow up just to 45 degrees, same thing, trying to push straight down. And I'm trying to push down, but I'm not trying to compensate by using my back.
1,
I want to just go as far as my shoulder can. Now we're back at 90. Our elbows in line with our shoulder,
go.
and I'm pushing back, trying to get as much external rotation as I can. Trying to work on those rotator muscles.
1,
Last
rest.
one. If you're able, try to bring your elbow up to 110. If you can't, just bring it as far as you can. And we're still just pushing straight down towards the ground in external rotation.
3,
Keep pushing here. We're
1,
going to go back to the beginning. So, elbows
3,
coming down to about 30 degrees.
1,
Coming here,
Go.
pushing back. Nice and steady, trying to get as much rotation as we can. Really should feel the
3,
back of the shoulder working as we're doing this exercise.
rest.
Up to about 45.
3, 2,
Every time trying to just get to my end range of external rotation and just trying to work that shoulder, not trying to incorporate my back to get any extra range of
3,
motion.
2, 1, rest.
Good, now we're going up to 90.
3,
Elbow and shoulder are in line.
1, go.
Hands coming straight back. Nice, steady. Just trying to push down towards the ground.
3,
Trying to activate those rotator cuff muscles.
rest.
Last one, if you're able,
3,
bring that elbow all the way up.
1,
Coming all the way straight back. Nice and steady. And then after this, we'll switch to our other side.
3,
So,
2, 1,
flip to your other
rest.
side. or just use
3, 2, 1.
flip if you're
Go.
trying to show both sides. So flipping 30 degrees at the elbow, bringing our hand straight back, nice
3,
and steady,
2,
holding this here.
1.
Good.
Rest.
So then I'm going to bring this up to
3,
about 45
2,
degrees, and
1.
then I'm going all the
Go.
way back. Nice, steady. Trying to push down towards the ground.
3, 2,
Trying to get that
1.
external rotation.
Rest.
Good. Up to 90. Elbows
2,
in line with the shoulder.
1. Go.
Coming straight back. Good. And I think it's nice to end with these shoulder ones as opposed to
3,
the obliques and the glutes.
1.
I think they're a little bit more relaxing for some people.
3,
It feels more like a
2,
stretch. Granted, you
1.
should still be pushing
Go.
the whole time. Should still feel it. But it kind of gives us, the first ones are kind of a build up into a warm up, and these are now
3,
just allowing us to
2,
kind of
1.
calm down,
Rest.
recenter. All right, back to the first
3,
side. We're back to the first
2,
one.
1.
Coming all
Go.
the way 30 degrees and then trying to rotate all the way back. So this is a good exercise if you know
3,
maybe you're
2,
golfing later today.
1.
Or
Rest.
just maybe, let's say we're up to
3,
45 degrees.
2,
Let's say
1.
you just want to get a
Go.
little bit better at golf. You know you're missing some power. You feel like, you know, you're using all hands or all torso, whatever it might
3,
be. This allows us
2,
to activate a lot of
1.
good
Rest.
muscles that we're using. Now we're at 90. We're going to bring this arm back. And we're going to just be trying to
3,
get through that rotation
2,
as much as we
1.
can. Pushing
Go.
straight down towards the ground or into whatever ball or pillow you have laid out that you've maybe been
3,
using, if that works
2,
best for you.
1.
I'm going to
Rest.
bring this arm up,
3,
rotate all the way
2,
back. This will be
1.
the last one. Then
Go.
we're going to do the opposite. We're going to work on our subscapularis, which is still a rotator cuff muscle, but now it's going to work internal
3,
rotation.
2,
So I'm going to stay on the
1.
same arm, but everyone
Rest.
else switch arms. Bringing this arm out to
2,
30, like
1.
we've been doing, but now
Go.
we're rotating in. And now I'm actually going to push into my side to get some of that internal rotation.
3,
Pushing right here.
1.
Good, I'm
Rest.
going to bring this arm up to 45.
3,
Same thing, I'm going to rotate all the way down.
Go.
And just think about getting as much rotation as I can to really activate. This one you should feel a little less on the
3,
top of your shoulder, and it
2,
should almost feel like it's
1.
under or
Rest.
inside your shoulder. We're up to
3,
90.
2,
I'm going to push straight
1.
down.
Go.
I hardly make my guest makes an on-screen appearance. He's very good.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Good. And then we're going to bring this up to 110. Hey, rock.
1. Go.
And we're pushing straight down. Nice, steady. Easy.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Good. And we'll
3,
do this one more time through,
1.
starting at 30,
Go.
pushing straight down, into our hand, into our side. Pushing nice and steady.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
We're gonna move up to 45.
2, 1. Go.
That's it. Now I have myself a nice little pressure point.
3, 2,
All it costs is one
1.
noisy dog.
Rest.
Good. We're moving this arm up to 90.
3,
Coming
2,
all the way down, pushing
1.
straight in.
Go.
Another one with this, the back is what we focus on. With this, we don't want to be compensating. We don't want to be
3,
lifting our shoulder
2,
up,
1.
getting any compensation
Rest.
that way. All right, 110.
3, 2,
Trying to push
1.
down as far as we
Go.
can. Whew. Definitely, I'm a little tighter on this side than I am going the other way. All those years of overhead sports
3,
really work your
2,
external rotation, not so
1.
much your internal.
Rest.
So I'm going to switch to my other side.
3,
You guys
2,
just lay where you're laying. And we're
Go.
gonna go 30 degrees and push into our side. And then this will be the last series we do
3,
on this side.
2,
So we're
1.
almost done.
Rest.
Good. Up to about 45.
3,
Push down
1.
and
Go.
pushing into a surface, pushing into the ground, pushing it against the air. All work as long as you're activating your muscles and you
3,
can feel yourself
2,
working.
1.
Good. We're going up
Rest.
to 90. Elbows
3,
here.
2,
Coming down
1.
as far as we can
Go.
go. Holding, just really trying to activate that muscle. Trying to get as much rotation as you can.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Good, and now we're gonna bring it up to 110.
2, 1.
And one of the
Go.
reasons I like to incorporate both of these for golf is when you're going through your backswing,
3,
one hand,
2,
your back hand.
1.
Good.
Rest.
Back to the beginning, 30 degrees,
3,
coming down.
2.
Your back
1.
hand's going through
Go.
external rotation, which is what we worked on in the beginning. But your opposite hand, your lead hand, arm,
3,
shoulder is
2,
going through internal
1.
rotation. Good.
Rest.
Now we're going up to 45.
3,
And they
2.
both have to be
1.
able to go through full
Go.
ranges of motion. So now we're at 30, pushing, or 45, pushing straight down. And so if you're lacking
3,
either external or internal
1.
rotation,
Rest.
now up to 90 on
3,
either hand,
2.
it can make a
1.
big difference.
Go.
And so if we could just get a little bit of activation before we go out and golf, or to if we can do this to increase
3,
some of our range of
2,
motion and
1.
supply some
Rest.
stability in your shoulder, up
3,
to 110,
2.
coming
1.
all the way down,
Go.
it can really make a big difference in your golf game. Good. And same thing like
3,
before, if you can't quite
2,
get to 110, that's okay,
1.
get as high up
Rest.
as you can. Good, alright, we're going through this
3,
one more time.
2. 1.
Step
Cool
here,
down.
and we are resting. So, now that we're done, take a deep breath. Remember some of these exercises, it might be something where you notice you have more tightness on one side than the other. You might feel weaker on one side versus the other. And these are great exercises that you can incorporate, before you play a game of golf, before you go to hit the range, or even just on a regular basis to try to get yourself in better golf
3.
shape as the season starts to
Nicely
go.
done.
So, hope you had a wonderful time today. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'll keep adding more workouts, and I'll see you soon.